All right, I'm going to share my screen for our announcements. Okay, Sandy, can you see my screen?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And I'm going to make you a co-host just so you can let people in case I don't see it. All right, so thank you everyone for joining our Shelter from the Rain June 2026 support group for parents. We used to call it Mommy Meetup, but it is open to single dads, single grandparents, any parent that needs support because we cover a lot of different topics. But this was originally designed just for single moms, to connect single moms, to make sure you feel like you have a community of support from resources to other families, to just not feeling like you're alone. So the whole purpose of this virtual support group is to make sure you, number one, know what resources are available to you. And then number two, you know that we are here to support you as an organization and as a community. So take advantage of connecting with other moms on this call. I know we're virtual, we will be in person next month, but take advantage of connecting with moms, even if it's just for text messages, to encourage each other. Whenever we have opportunities to share information, you can, you do not have to, but it is open to you. If you're not familiar with Shelter from the Rain as a whole, we are a 501c3 nonprofit here in Savannah, Georgia. And we have a diaper bank, a pantry inside of the front porch on Abercorn Street. That's not the Comedy Improv place on Victory. We are on Abercorn Street. That is a building for at-risk youth. It's wraparound services. There's a lot of nonprofits, community partners in that building, to help you get connected to resources that you need in hopes of making sure that our youth don't end up in juvenile court system. So our diaper bank and pantry are in that building. We have a support group just like this. We meet virtually and we meet in person. And then we have a 6-month mentorship program, which has started in May. Those moms will graduate in November. If you're interested in that, you can sign up now, but you would not start until 2027 because it is a 6-month program. But that program, we pair single moms with mentors to work on goals in the areas of career development, housing, transportation, childcare, anything like that. So, all right, our quote for today. We like to start with a quote, keep our minds positive. I try to pick a quote that's connected to our topic. So the one I picked today was think before you speak, read before you think. And I thought that was a really cool quote to put on here because reading really just does open your mind up to so many different things. You can travel without going anywhere at all. So I love reading. I mentioned earlier that I love the library. My son and I used to go to the library every other week. I moved to Savannah in 2003 when I moved here to go to SCAD. And we didn't have a lot at all. I was a very young mom. My son was 2 or 3. I was 18, 19. So, very limited resources, but the library was always fun for us because we didn't have to have a lot of money or anything to go to the library. He had a great time. We got books. We always took books home. I read books to him every night. So definitely put reading a part of your daily activities and incorporate the library into your the childhood for your children. Because I'm not sure if my son remembers all the trips to the library, but he definitely knows that reading was a big part of our family. So be sure that's a free resource. You'll learn more about the resources available there, but that will help on so many different levels, not just now for your children, but in the future as well. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that we would have an opportunity for you to connect. If you want to connect with another mom in this chat, you can type your first name, the names of your children, your email or phone number. At least put your email in there because I try to get all those emails and email all the moms that want to connect like during this meeting. So at least put your email. If you want to add your phone number, you can. You do not have to add your phone number, but if you want to add your email, And then your main need, is it just mommy play dates? Is it connection? Are you looking for a job? Are you looking for a new daycare? Are you looking for play activities for your kids? So if you put the ages of your children, that'll make it easier for moms to give you advice on things that you might need. And then again, you could connect just for encouraging messages, to meet up virtually or in person. And then just to send resources or information. So I mean, a mom may not have everything that you are looking for right now, but there may be a mom that's willing to help you look for housing opportunities or look for job opportunities. We want this to be not just shelter from the rain providing resources, but you have a community of people who are willing to help each other. I'm a big advocate of moms, of us being the solution to our own problems. Like we have the power, the wisdom, the knowledge to help each other be better, to be empowered. So definitely help another mom if you can. Again, you could put that in the chat. I will grab that information during the presentation and I'll email the moms that want to connect with each other so y'all have that information. Okay, and then I always mention Savannah on the Move. That's another group in Savannah that meets during the month. They do like walks and runs, and then I think they go and have like brunch or breakfast afterwards. You don't have to do the brunch or breakfast, but if you want to connect with them, I've mentioned our group to them before. If you want to get out, take a stroller or take the kids and go for a walk, you can do that as well. And then for today, June 20th, this, like I mentioned before, support group is open to all. We're meeting with Justin Bristol from the Live Oak Public Library. Very excited about all the information that's happening at the library. This is great because these resources are free to you. So hopefully you walk away, if you're not already active with going to the library, hopefully you walk away today with at least one new thing you could do or reason you would want to go to the library or connect with them. Like I said, if you're on this call today, you qualify for the back to school giveaway that we're going to have next month in person. That's at LifeBridge Church. And I'll send out information. That's invitation only. So once we get done with this call, that link I will put in the chat and you can sign up for the things that you need for the back to school giveaway. And then we just need a count of how many people we need childcare for and food for. We'll also be doing a food demonstration, like healthy eating. So next month, the menu will be a little bit different. We're going to focus on like Mediterranean diet options or cooking options and like lighter food options. So it won't be our normal Chick-fil-A. That's what we're planning. If anything goes wrong, you will see Chick-fil-A, but hopefully we'll be able to get everything on schedule for having healthier food options for y'all to explore and choose from. But it'll be like basic things. So even if you don't like everything, you should be able to make like a chicken and rice bowl. Even if you don't like black beans or you don't like tomatoes or you don't like whatever else is there. You should be able to make something that you like, but we are going to try to focus on healthier food options that you can make at home, and just doing something different in terms of the food. And we'll have also our board member, Melanie Howard, and Liz Mann to talk about food. And then Melanie will talk about women's health. She works with Savannah OBGYN there. So you can also still ask the questions that you have for women's health as well. So that's our health and wellness back to school giveaway. Like I said, at the end of this meeting, I'll drop that into the chat so you can sign up for it. So you're going to do two things at the end of this meeting. You're going to sign up for the next one, and then you're going to do the survey just to tell us how this meeting went. But I'll put both of those links in the chat once we get done. Does anyone have questions before I turn it over to Justin? If you're talking, you're muted. I don't hear anybody as of yet, so I'm going to assume that everything was easy to understand. All right, and if you do have any questions that you think of, you can drop them in the chat. I'll be answering things while Justin is presenting, but I'm going to hand it over. Thank you for joining us, Justin.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And good morning, everybody. Thanks for Thanks for being here today. Let's see if I remember my 2020 era middle school teaching, if I can figure out how to share everything here.
Yeah.
Um, and I think we are live. So it
Yep.
still works. Perfect.
Hey.
Um, so hey everybody again, thanks for having me. I am going to try to share what I think are some really great resources that we have available at the library. And like Jennifer alluded to, the best part about the library is that everything except for copies is free. So again, I'm Justin Bristol. I'm the community engagement manager. So I work throughout the system in all of our branches throughout our multi-county region. Um, and so if you're ever at any of our branches or any of our outreach events inside the library or outside the library, you might see me, or you'll see a member of one of our library teams, out and about. So just a quick overview of what we have, what we do. The library is free and open to anyone and everyone. You don't have to have a library card to go to the library. You don't you don't have to be an avid reader to go to the library. Um, Anyone is welcome as long as they're not, like causing a big ruckus. Minor ruckuses, probably okay. So it's one of the only places still where you don't even have to buy a cup of coffee to go and sit and hang out for a while. You can go in the door at 10 o'clock when they open and just exist until 6 o'clock when the doors close.
And I just want to
Um,
mention that they have air conditioning. I know
it's true.
I mentioned earlier that it was hot and my air went out, and that's something I'm grateful for, but it's a nice, cool place to go to.
Yeah, no, it's air conditioned most of the time. And just a quick programming note, if you hear coughing in the background, that is my 13-year-old dog.
Oh,
So, he's going through it right now.
oh
I
no.
told him to be quiet, but he's
It's
not
okay. I
agreeing.
got two fur babies over here too, but yeah, he's fine.
Um, so if beyond the services inside the library, you can enjoy online access to resources 24/7. If that's, an ebook or an audiobook that you're looking for, or you need help, building your resume, you can get those resources anytime. For those of you with school-aged kids, we have access to free homework help online. We'll talk about that more later. If you need a computer to type up a resume or to fill out a job application or simply to just do some research or just browse the internet, we have access to computers both inside the libraries and at home. You can check out Chromebooks and hotspots from the library and bring those home. So if your internet's not working, if there's a hurricane and your internet gets knocked out, check out a Chromebook, check out a hotspot, and you've got internet with you. Of course, you can borrow books, DVDs, park passes. So if you wanted to go to like the Telfair or the Savannah Children's Museum or Wormslow State Park, you can check out passes there. And then all of that is on our website, liveoakpl.org. So we're never too far away from one of our many libraries, unless you're in Effingham County beginning in July, where Effingham County libraries will be switching to the Statesboro Regional System. But beyond that, we have 12 libraries in the Chatham County area. So if you're in Garden City or Pooler, or you're way out on Tybee, or you're on the south side, there is a library close to you that you can access, 6 days a week. Um, about 2 years ago, we went through a strategic plan, and I won't talk about this too much because nobody wants to talk about strategic plans. Like, I don't want to talk about it, but it is important for a lot of the work that we're doing. Um, and so one of the big goals that we had, not just, literacy, that's an obvious one. We want everyone to be able to read, from our youngest pre-readers to adults. We want more folks interacting with books, interacting with literature, interacting with the English language on a regular basis. But of course, community engagement is another important part of that strategic plan, and that's, my department, my bread and butter. My 40 hours a week is devoted to that community engagement. And so what that means is not just going out and doing outreach events. setting up the tent and the table and handing out brochures and things like that. It's working with partners. It's going to back to school nights and literacy nights at schools. It's growing our books by mail program for those who have limited access to mobility. You can participate in books by mail and get those books that you would normally check out at the branch delivered to you where you are. In terms of the community engagement, sort of thing, the way I always like the joke that I always tell that my coworkers are tired of hearing is that I could probably do your taxes, but you don't want me to do your taxes. So we're working with partners, subject matter experts who can fill those gaps that our community needs and provide them in library spaces where they can be easy to access, free, and helpful for folks in our community. And so some of those partnerships, like I said, the second bullet point, that's AARP. Every tax season, AARP comes in. They offer free tax prep services for folks who qualify for it. And you don't have to be an AARP member. You don't have to be a senior citizen. If you qualify based on income, they're doing your taxes for you for free. Forsyth Farmers Market comes into 2 of our branches, the Bull Street branch every Thursday. And then on alternating Tuesdays, they're at the Garden City branch over on Dean Forest, and then our Bull Street branch, helping people sign up for SNAP benefits, sitting down with folks one-on-one, filling out applications, answering questions, helping them through the process. Again, that's not something that I can do, but it's something that our community needs. And so it's up to my department to facilitate those partnerships so that we can serve the community. We're working with the Homeless Authority to offer shower services over on the south side. We're working with Second Harvest to provide free summer lunches for kids all summer long in 7 of our branches. So it's not just books, and it's not just computers, and it's not just reading programs. All those things are great, but it's providing real resources that really help the members of our community. So while I, go around disparaging our summer reading program, talking about how that's not the most important thing we do, our summer reading program and our writing programs are really important. And you can see that my PowerPoint formatting's not the best. I don't know why there's a ghost little logo here, but it's okay. We'll get by. So we offer several reading challenges throughout the year. Summer reading is obviously the biggest. It's 2 months long. It's open to everybody, from pre-readers whose, parents, grandparents, guardians are reading to them every night, to adults who are reading to try to settle down just a little bit before you go to sleep. You read 10 hours over the course of the summer, you get entered to win some really great prizes. We have the winter reading program, which is a little bit smaller. It's only a month long, and it's a 6-hour challenge, I believe, maybe a little bit more obtainable. But we track those on an app called Beanstack. We have the annual Creative Writing Challenge. It's a poetry challenge open to youth that we work with Leopold's to not just encourage folks to read more, but to encourage our students to write and to be creative and to express themselves via that writing. And then one of my favorites is the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. And so that's a program that we offer all the time, all year long. You sign up and you track the reading that you've done with your children, with the goal of completing 1,000 books before kindergarten. We really want to see kids entering the school system at 4 and 5 years old, ready to go. That is our biggest sort of goal now, is to provide that early learning, that early literacy support to help our school system, so that the students who are entering kindergarten, the students who are going to start being tested in the 3rd grade, are already on grade level or ahead of grade level. And if we can support that by offering something like 1,000 books, we're happy to do it. So beyond those challenges and beyond those activities, we have access to all sorts of apps and software that you can get, again, free and 24/7 via our website. So eRead Kids, Hoopla, Libby, Tumble Book Library, these are all geared, well, Libby and Hoopla is for anyone, but eRead Kids and Tumble are specifically geared towards kids so that they can have access to those ebooks, audiobooks, interactive ebooks that read along with them, so that they're encouraged to do that reading, and that again they have access to it anytime. We have launch pads that you can check out in our branches, which are, I know not everybody loves screens, but they're portable, they're interactive, they're digital, they're preloaded with storybooks, educational videos. They have bilingual resources. They don't require internet. You don't have to worry about downloading anything, and everything is age appropriate. So it's a bit more controlled than just like an iPad or a Kindle or something like that. And those circulate throughout our system, and they're available to check out. I know it's a lot. I know I'm talking really fast. Please let me know if anybody has any questions. ABC Nat Mouse is another, big one, really popular. And I hear this a lot. People are paying for ABC Mouse at home. People are paying to have access to ABC Mouse. I want to say it's like $9.99 or like $11.99 a month or something like that. Not only can you get it for free, in the libraries, we have it preloaded on several computers throughout the libraries, but you can access it at home anytime by signing in through your library card. So as you go to sign in, you select your state, you select your library, you put in your library card number. If you have a student in the Savannah-Chatham County school system, that library card number is their student ID number or their lunch number. And then the library PIN or password, if you're using like your account, it's probably the last 4 of your phone number. If you're using your student's account, it's a 6-digit code. It's birth month, 2 digits, and then birth year. So like my son would be 02/2019. And so using those numbers, you can log in, get access to ABC Mouse anytime, anywhere. You can use the app on your phone. And again, it's interactive, it's fun, it encourages kids to learn, but they don't really think that they're learning, which is probably the easiest way to get them to do it. We talked a bit about how students can access things like ABC Mouse using their student number or their lunch number, and that's part of a program we have called the Student Play Program. And so every student in our system has a library card. You didn't have to sign them up for it. You didn't have to fill anything out. You didn't have to do any paperwork whatsoever. They have access to up to 5 items at a time inside of our branches with no late fees. I have a 7-year-old. My 7-year-old doesn't always finish the books that he checks out, or he wants to read them over and over and over and over and over again. He might like shove it under his mattress and forget where he put it. So like late fees can be a real burden to some folks. By taking those late fees away, we're encouraging parents to bring their students into the library. We're encouraging students to check out books, and we're taking away that burden of a potential late fee so that they don't feel afraid to check things out, so that students don't feel afraid to like read their books over and over and over again. And all of our online resources, whether it's ABC Mouse or Hoopla or any of the ebooks and audiobooks, can all be accessed again with that lunch number that they're probably using every single day. So you don't have to worry about a new account. You don't have to worry about anything like that. It's all right there and ready to go.
And the butter and flour for the
People always say the brew is the most important part.
And then when you go to on the previous page, let me see if I can back up. On the previous page, all of our play stuff is at liveoakpl.org/play. So it's pretty straightforward, easy to get there. If you click on the Student Success tab, all of those resources are separated out by age level. So if you have an elementary school student and you're looking for homework help, things like that, you can click on elementary school. If you have a high school student who's doing things a bit more seriously, maybe getting ready for the ACT or the SAT, doing research papers, things like that, those resources are going to be linked separately via the high school button. And our resources are great. They cover a wide range of topics. We've already talked about ABC Mouse, which is ideal for the younger students. We have things like Galileo, which is digital research library available for students. Mango Languages, which is a language learning software similar to Duolingo. Niche Academy has videos, interactive tutorials, great for students and for adults. And then Learning Express Library also has similar research materials available. This is where, if we were in person, I would say, do you have a student in the school system? Does your student need a tutor? And then 90% of the people in the class raise their hand. Tutor.com is available, again, via our website using your library card number or your student's lunch number. And they have free tutoring services, live one-to-one tutoring services available 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. every day.
Oh, wow. I don't think I knew that.
Right? So live tutors, it's the tutor is available on a webcam. The student is not on a camera to protect privacy, but they can chat back and forth. They can talk back and forth. If you're outside of that 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. sort of range, you have a paper that you need help with, you can upload it and a tutor will provide feedback on that paper. They're not going to rewrite it for you. They're not going to chat GPT it and plagiarize it, but they will provide feedback just like a face-to-face tutor would.
And I'll just add really quickly, Justin, definitely check out tutor.com. If the timing or anything for any reason doesn't work out with them, you can also reach out to Shelter from the Rain. We partner with Easy as Pie Tutoring. It's also virtual, but we do pay for those. So definitely check out tutor.com first, since that's a free resource. If anything doesn't work out with that, then let us know and we can reach out to our tutoring partner as well.
Oh, that's great to know. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, we have a question. Hold on one second.
Yeah,
Jamaica, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I got a question. Well, I'm trying to get a resume done, and every time I get my resume done, I went through WorkSource, Georgia, I think, over there off of Skidaway, across from Memorial Stadium. So, do y'all have people to assist with resumes? Because it seems like it's not my resume not getting nowhere.
Do you mind if I ask you to wait just a few minutes? And if I don't answer your question in a few
Oh,
minutes,
okay.
Go
It's
ahead.
funny. Awesome. It's funny. Yeah, so it's funny.
Okay.
Anybody else have questions about anything we've already covered? I know we have some introverts and you scared to just jump in there. I will jump in there for you. Okay, Annette.
I was gonna save this to the end. It may be a dumb question, but I was wondering, is the Live Oaks part of the Pine Systems?
Yes, we are. And so their PLAY is actually an acronym for Pines Library Access for Youth. So we are part of Pines, and what that means is if you're looking for a particular book, well, it means a lot of things, but one of the biggest things is if you're looking for a particular book and it's not in your library branch, hopefully it's in one of our other 15 library branches. But if it's not, if it's in Athens or if it's in Augusta or if it's in, I don't think Macon, we'll get it from them. There's no interlibrary loan. There's no shipping fee. We have access to all of the collections of all of the participating Pines libraries throughout the state. It is a little bit different, I think, with either Hoopla or Libby. We left the Pine system for our ebooks through one of those two apps. I can't remember which one it is. And so we've started doing books directly via that app, which has been really great for some people and really bad for some people. When we made that switch, there were a few people who were like, I was on the holds list for this ebook and I was number 77 in line. And then when you switched, I went up to number 3 in line because we're competing with fewer people, from a 3-county region to a statewide region. But it did, some of the selections got a little bit smaller. So I have heard that some folks have said that we don't have the particular books that they're looking for. If you do come across that either in the collection itself or digitally, you can reach out to our collections management team and put in a purchase request. Unlike a lot of our resources where, well, obviously if you're going to check out a book, you have to have a library card. A lot of our digital resources, you don't necessarily have to have a library card, like our resume builder that we'll talk about in a little while. You don't have to have a library card to use it. But you have to have a library card to put a purchase request in. But if you're already asking about Pines, you're probably vaguely familiar and have a library card already. Anybody else?
That was a good.
Hi, yes, I have a question.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Okay, yes. So, for the tutor.com, do we have to have our library card or student number for that?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'll make sure I have that readily available. And
And
so for the lab,
go ahead. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it will ask you to create an account when you go to tutor.com, but it's, you put in an email address and create a password and you're ready to go.
Okay, and just for the Lavo, pl.org/homework, that's just specifically for the homework help, correct?
Yeah, it's got a bunch of resources on there. Yeah.
Okay, all right, just double checking. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, thanks. Cool. And then, hey, business careers and continuing education. So on our website, there's a business careers and continuing education tab. And this has a bunch of really great materials focused, for folks who are either looking to start a business, looking to, learn new skills, gain certificates, or folks who are looking for jobs. And so Niche Academy is one of those resources. So let's say you need some help, navigating Microsoft Word. You've been a Google Docs user for ages, or you just haven't used Word in quite some time. There are video walkthroughs and video tutorials for things like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook, Gmail, to help you become more comfortable with those. And then we have our resume builder, which is also available via that website. So you pull up the resume builder, you put in an email address, and then that way it has a place to send your PDF after you've created your resume. And you just go through and you fill out the fields. So you put in your contact information, you put in your objective. I personally don't put objectives on my resumes, but if you want to say, like seeking a career change, from the hospitality industry or something along those lines, you can put that objective in there. And then there are AI features that you can, put in a sentence or two and ask it to expand what you've written, refine what you've written. It'll proofread it for you. So AI features for better or for worse, but it is, helpful in this situation. You fill out your work experience, your education, and it formats that resume for you. You don't have to worry about doing all the bullet points and doing all the formatting and all the headers and things like that. You just type in the information into those fields. It formats it for you. You can print out, it'll create a PDF so you can download it. You can print it out right there and you're ready to go. And then it's got that AI resume assistant there also. So if you have questions, that chat feature will hopefully provide some feedback. The Bull Street Library has the Career Resource Center on the second floor in our reference area. And so there's 2 sections of computers over at Bull Street, one out on the floor that's a little bit more basic. They have access to Google and things like that. And then the computer lab itself has access to Microsoft Word. And there are typically librarians available who can help with resumes. They might not be able to sit down with you one-on-one for too long, just depending on what the time is like, but they are there to answer questions and sort of help you navigate as you're working through those things. I think I see a hand.
Yeah, Sandy.
Yes. So first I want to say, Justin, this is very helpful information because I was assisting a mom a few weeks ago and I actually subscribed to a resume builder account and paid for it. But this is good because this is free, correct, for anyone who wants
That's
to
right.
use it, long as they have a library card.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even think
Jennifer,
you need
this would be good for us to share with the moms
With
on
the
our
moms
next call.
in our mentorship program, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And again, I don't think you actually need to put in a library card number to access the resume builder.
Okay.
I think you can just, you know, go right to it and get started.
Jamaica,
And I
is this
will.
helpful? Because Jamaica, this is where your question was, right? For the resume, she may not be. You're muted if you're speaking. Um, but I'm sure she probably does not know about this. Well,
No, it's not helpful.
huh?
It's not helpful.
It's not helpful. Why?
No, because when I went to the Work Source Georgia place, like I said on Skidaway,
Huh?
that's how I got my resume done. Somebody assisted me with that
Oh, you need
on
some.
the resume. No,
You
I
need,
think it was my perfect resume. But
so you're saying
still, though, when
it's
I
not
send my
helpful because
resume,
it's virtual, or
oh no, it's not helpful because it's not virtual. It's just not helpful because I don't know what I'm putting on there wrong, or I don't like, and I have like a gap in between. So
oh,
that's why I
I
said
see,
like
I
it's
see,
not
I see.
helpful. So like when I'm trying to apply for jobs,
Mhm.
it's like it's nothing to reach that for them to look for. So
Oh.
honestly, I was thinking maybe I lie on it
No, no, we do
and
not
just
want
give
you to
false
lie
names and
on your
numbers.
resume.
Yes,
Don't
ma'am.
lie on your resume. Because listen, if you lie on anything, this is not just resumes, it's gonna catch up with you. And if you
Yes,
tell one
ma'am.
lie, you gotta tell more lies to cover up the other lie. And if you're lying about experience, I promise you, have you ever seen those memes where it's like, oh, this chicken lied on his resume, said it was a dog? They will know when you get that job
Yes,
that
ma'am.
you lied on your resume. So you don't save yourself. Like you always want to be full of integrity. I would be more open to someone who came to me and said, "Hey, I really need a job. I don't have this experience, but I work hard." Like they were very honest. Integrity and honesty is gonna look better when you show up to any job than lying on. I know you were just joking, but please, y'all, don't
Oh, I
lie
was.
these resumes, but we can definitely like in combination once you get somebody to work with you like in person and you do know how to like kind of craft your resume because
Mhm.
there are a lot of people you have to kind of like finagle your resume until you have more experience. I know when I was younger, I had to put more like my volunteer experience on
Mhm.
there because I didn't have a lot of job experience, but I have volunteered several places. So I
Gotcha.
okay, I volunteered at this place. I helped them with like organizing stuff because when I was a student, I did a lot of volunteering at Beach Institute and I organized a lot of stuff that they had, like the collections and materials that they had. I volunteered at the Christian Maternity Home, helping with fundraising and like those things, even though they're not jobs, it shows that you have the ability to help in a variety of different areas. So, anybody, if you don't have job experience, make a habit of volunteering places because even those places can be references for you. I've had several moms who volunteered with us or did stuff with us and they were like, hey, can you be a reference for me for this job? And because I knew that they were capable of doing certain volunteer projects, I was like, yeah, I will definitely like recommend you for certain things. So all right, did you have any other questions, Jamika, or comments before I move to Ava?
No, ma'am, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. All right, Ava. There you
Okay, there. Sorry, she just started fussing. But
go.
I
Okay.
was gonna say, it's possible. Just this is just from experience. I had I did a certification in the Goodwill career job coaching, and a lot of times I know like nowadays with a lot of jobs they don't really have a person that's actually checking the resume. Sometimes they're just running it through a
Yep.
system and
Yep.
they're looking for keywords. So it
Yep.
could be if you're using like the same exact resume to apply to several different jobs, it could be just a mismatch in keywords. That may be why you're not getting like, I don't know if you're not getting any callbacks or anything. So that's just something I would just add in there.
Yeah, that's a
You may
great.
have to yeah, she may have to like for each job you're applying to, you may have to just like pull out those keywords and tailor your resume to each job that you're applying to.
Absolutely. And that's great advice. I had to do that too. I had several different types of resumes depending on what job it was. And you do, like Ava said, you want to look at the job description. If you can pull some words out of the job description and put it into your resume, that will help. Gulfstream is like that. Like you can't even get to a certain level without it going through like a bot or a filter. Unless you know somebody who gets it directly to the person that you need it to, which I've done all of that. Like I've gone through the bots, all of that. I've gone through people like, can you get my resume to this person? But yeah, that's a big deal too. Make sure you're not submitting the same resume for every single job. Look at the job. Like looking for a job is a job. Like honestly, like you got to put a lot of work into just making yourself marketable for the right job. And like I said, save all those different resumes that you have and submit them to the other jobs as needed. Does anybody have any other questions for Justin in terms of the resume builder? Okay, I think we can keep it moving.
Great. And then beyond our like literacy and career resources and things like that, there's also we have health and wellness resources available. So on the health and wellness page, there are, you know, health source nursing and academic, you know, resources. So if you're like going through nursing school or something like that, there's, you know, research papers available. And then searchable database for journals published in Spanish. But we also have blood pressure monitor kits that you can check out. So they're available at 4 of our branches throughout the system. You can check them out for 2 weeks. So if it's something where you are needing to monitor your blood pressure or your doctor is concerned, like mine is, about your blood pressure, and you wanted to you know, track it more often at home rather than like going to a Walgreens or a Publix or something to do it there, or waiting until the next time you go to the doctor. Those kits come with, you know, guides on how to understand your blood pressure. I know every time my doctor checks my blood pressure, they tell me the numbers and I write them down and I Google them later to figure out what it actually means. So there's those guides in there. There's a guide on, you know, what you can do to help, you know, improve your blood pressure and things like that, which apparently for me was cut caffeine and salt, which is a
Yeah.
miserable existence.
It really
um,
is.
and then actually that's the end. I thought there was more to it than that. I'm going to browse around our website for a little while just to talk about some other things that we have available and where you can find our programming and pages and things like that. But, you know, this is my contact information, so don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or, you know, other thoughts about things we've talked about. You can email me. If you ever want to email anybody at the library, it's just their last name and then their first initial at liveoakpl.org. And then my phone number is there also if you're ever looking to get in touch. And that includes, like, you know, your neighborhood association has an event coming up and you want the library to come out and set up a table, you know, reach out and we'll see if we can get there. But looking at our website, we have, so liveoakpl.org. We have a scrolling sort of main banner of events coming up. So things like Tracing Your Roots at the Carnegie Library today.
That's awesome.
And then the summer reading program, of course, is always being promoted. Our summer lunch program, I mentioned this earlier. Again, we have free lunches available all summer long at 7 of our branches. All you under 18 years old, no questions asked. You pop in, you get a lunch. So our upcoming programs are linked here on the side. And so if you're looking for something to do today where you don't have to spend money and you want to be inside and you want to keep your kids entertained, our full calendar of events is right here. So you can click, go over to today, the 20th, and you can kind of scroll through and see everything that's going on. If you wanted to narrow it down by a branch, let's say you're closest to the Islands Library, you can select that, search, and it'll narrow it down by the Islands branch. So we have constant recurring events that go on at our libraries. Islands hosts their story time on Mondays at 10:30. So those story times every Monday at 10:30, there's going to be a story time at Islands. Baby story time on Wednesdays, 10:30. You can see it repeats every week. So if you're looking for something to do, you've got a little one, baby story time is a great option. Our regular story time is great for, basically that 0 to 5 age range. And then sort of special programs that happen throughout the month. Brick Mania is one of our traveling summer reading programs. It's going to be at several branches next week. This is just the day that it's going to be at Islands. So this is a Lego program that will be happening. Stories from the fossil record, Georgia's coastal plain. This will likely be a little bit more adult oriented. Kids really like dinosaurs. I think this one's going to be a little bit more technical. And you can sort it out by age range. So if you're looking for adult programs, you're looking for preschool programs, and even farther beyond that, early literacy or arts and crafts, teen programs, you want to switch to like the Southwest Library, you can do that. Southwest always has stuff going on. So you're looking for a free yoga class, Southwest on Tuesdays at 11 o'clock. You need story time, and then you need to relax after story time and go to yoga. You can do that at Southwest. If you've got older kids who are looking for something to do, I know it's hard to figure out what to do with older kids. Southwest has their teen time on Thursday afternoons, and then the Teen Anime Club Thursday afternoons also. So you can see their story time schedule is a little bit different. They do it on Tuesdays, still at 10:30. And then music and movement is a really popular one. Miss Melanie over at Southwest is fantastic. She keeps the kids really engaged, and music and movement is a great way to, let the kids let a little bit of energy out in a sort of positive manner. And yeah, if you were looking for our business and careers page, that would be here under find information, business and careers. Lifelong learning would have, genealogy and history, health and wellness, reference sections, things like that. So, all right, I will be completely honest with you. Our website is a little bit difficult, but we're redoing it. We're working on it. But there's all sorts of really, really great stuff there. So you can usually find what you're looking for after a few clicks at least.
Okay.
I had a question about that regular yoga session. Is it for adults? And if
It is.
so,
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is there childcare there?
Typically, no.
No. But is it like outside the library, or inside?
It's in the auditorium. It is. So you can still do it in August and not melt.
Okay. And if there's no childcare, like, is my child still feel free to roam the library while I do the yoga, or no?
I would need to refresh myself on the unattended minors policy. I want to say it's 9.
Okay.
That a child can be unattended in the library, but it might be 12.
Okay. Got you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a great question. Any other questions? We also need to know, I don't know whose phone number 912, the 536-8712. If you could put your name in the chat just for Sandy for attendance. She's just trying to do attendance. She doesn't know whose phone number that is. Annette, you have a question?
So this may probably answer itself. Another dumb question. So with the live oaks being part of the pines, anything that, well, everything that's on your webpage, would I be able to use my library card from Sylvania with it, or do I have a library card when accessing all of that?
Did you say from Effingham?
Scriven County.
Screven County. Do you happen to know if they're part of the Statesboro regional system?
No. Sylvania is part of Pines, but they're not part of the Statesboro Regional.
Okay. There, I should know the answer to this question, and I don't. I think you would be able to access many of the resources we have, especially online. Like you wouldn't be able to check out anything in the branch without a live oak card. Um, but if your residency is in Screven County, okay. Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to check out anything. You can get a like visiting card. That is one of the few things that at the library that is not free. I think it's $12.50 for 6 months. If you do the full year, you get a small discount. It's $25 for the full year. That's not a discount. So we do have a lot of folks who like visit Tybee for the summer or like Snowbird, and they'll get those like visiting resident cards. And we also have a number of folks who get those visiting resident cards just so that they can have 2 library cards linked to their Libby account, so that they can occasionally jump the line for holds on Libby if they do that. Not that I would ever advocate doing that, but I think a lot of our resources are Pines resources that we get via Pines. So a lot of those digital resources are some of the things like our Telfair Pass or our Coastal Heritage Society Pass for like the Savannah Children's Museum. Those are negotiated directly with our system, so you wouldn't be able to use your card for those.
But as far as like the information with the education and the tutor.com, would that be accessible?
I'm not sure about tutor.com. I think that's one that we have that, like we pay for those services as a system rather than Pines paying for it, but I'm not 100% certain. If you want to send me an email, I might be able to answer that question for you on Monday, though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Those are good questions on that. And the email for anybody is going to be in this presentation. I'm going to put this presentation on our website. I'm also going to, oh, and his email is also in the chat if you need it. I also dropped the survey in the chat right above his email. So if you can take this survey real quick. After I see some of the surveys come through, I'm going to go ahead and put the link for the July support group because we do need you to sign up for the July support group. But please do the survey first. It takes 2 seconds. You don't have to put a whole lot. Just say if this was helpful. Let us know if you have another topic that you're interested in that we can bring or put or add to the calendar for 2027. I think we might have a little bit more room this year. I think we might be booked up for this year, but I can't remember. But put any topics that you're interested in. That helps us a lot when we're developing or asking people to come and speak. The resources that you're interested in, resources that you need. And then, like I said, as soon as I see some of these surveys come in, I'll drop the chat. I'll drop in the chat the link for next month. Again, we need to know if you're bringing your children next month, just so we have enough food and childcare. If you're coming by yourself, but you still need backpacks, that's fine. You don't have to bring the kids to get the backpacks. We just need to know specifically how many backpacks, the age groups. They also need to know the gender. So every question that's on the link that I'm going to put in, please answer all of them, the gender, the name, the grade that they're going to, because if you don't, they email me to ask me that information and then I have to reach out again. So put all the information you can into that form and it'll go into a spreadsheet for LifeBridge Church. Moesha, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you can hear me. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sounds good. I was wondering about the Juneteenth tracing your roots, and it says the Heritage Library. I just wanted to confirm that that's the one on Henry Street because I've never been there, but I don't see an address.
That's right. Yeah, it's Price and Henry or Broad and Henry? Broad and Henry.
Okay.
So that was formerly known just as the Carnegie Library. When we reopened it this past February, strictly as a research library, we rebranded it as the Carnegie Library Heritage Center. But it is the same location.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a great question. And I didn't even see that. I would have advertised that more. I didn't know y'all were doing that. It's really cool. Yesterday was Juneteenth. All right, I see some of the surveys coming through. I'm gonna drop the next link. For the moms who already did the survey, I'm gonna drop the link for next month for you to sign up. If anybody has any other questions for Justin, please let me know. I'm gonna end the recording here. Justin, we appreciate you joining us today. For those who are watching later, you can contact Justin. Just go back to that the screen or the slide that has his contact information. And we thank you for joining us virtually. And we'll see you guys next time.